Welcome to Daily English for Difficult Moments. This is a new series about real situations that can feel uncomfortable in English.
Exactly. Today we are starting with a very common and very useful topic, how to say no politely.
Saying no can feel difficult, even in your first language. In English, it can feel even more stressful.
Yes, many learners worry that saying no will sound rude, cold, or unfriendly.
But saying no is not always rude. The way you say it matters.
That is the key idea. A polite no can be respectful, honest, and clear at the same time.
And honestly, sometimes saying yes to everything is a real problem.
Very true. If you say yes to everything, your calendar becomes a horror movie.
Let's start with a simple phrase. One polite way to say no is, I'd love to, but I can't.
That phrase is useful because it sounds warm. You are saying the idea is nice, but you are not available.
For example, a friend says, Do you want to come to dinner tonight?
You can say, I'd love to, but I can't tonight.
That is much softer than just saying no.
Yes, a single no can sound too direct in many situations. Not always, but often.
Another useful phrase is, I don't think I can make it.
This is great when someone invites you somewhere. It means you probably cannot attend.
For example, I don't think I can make it to the party this weekend.
Nice. It sounds natural, polite, and not too formal.
Before we continue, quick reminder if this conversation helps you, listen once without subtitles, then listen again with subtitles.
Now let's talk about saying no at work. This can feel more difficult.
Yes, because at work we want to be helpful, but we also need to protect our time.
A good phrase is, I'm afraid I can't take that on right now.
That sounds professional. It means you cannot accept more work at the moment.
For example, I'm afraid I can't take that on right now. I already have two urgent tasks.
That is clear, but still respectful.
Another workplace phrase is, I don't have the capacity for that today.
Capacity means the time, energy, or space to do something.
Exactly. It is a polite way to say, I am too busy without sounding dramatic.
Although sometimes we are dramatic inside.
Inside, yes. Outside, we say, I don't have the capacity for that today.
Let's talk about another important idea. You do not always need a long explanation.
This is very important. Some people say no, then explain for 5 minutes, then feel guilty, then almost say yes.
That is very real, but a short explanation is usually enough.
For example, I can't today, but thank you for asking.
That phrase is simple and polite. It closes the answer nicely.
Another one is, that doesn't work for me, unfortunately.
This is useful when someone suggests a time, a plan, or an option that is not good for you.
For example, Friday evening doesn't work for me, unfortunately.
And if you want, you can offer another option.
Yes, you can say, could we do it another day?
Or would next week work instead?
Offering another option is a great way to keep the conversation positive.
But there is a small warning. Only offer another option if you really want another option.
Exactly. If you do not want to meet next week, do not say, maybe next week.
That is how future you gets trapped.
Future, you will not be happy.
Another difficult situation is saying no to family. This can feel more emotional than saying no to a friend or a coworker.
Yes, because with family, people often feel guilty. They think, if I say no, maybe I am being selfish.
But having limits does not mean you do not care. It means you are being honest about what you can do.
A useful phrase is, I care about this, but I can't help today.
That is a good one because it separates your feeling from your availability. You care, but you are not available.
Another phrase is, I can't do that today, but I hope you understand.
This sounds gentle. It is useful when you want to protect the relationship and still say no.
Now let's talk about messages. Sometimes saying no in a text message is actually easier.
Yes, because you have time to think. You do not need to answer in 2 seconds like your phone is on fire.
A simple text message could be, "Thanks for inviting me. I can't make it this time, but I hope you have a great evening."
That message is polite, complete, and friendly. It does not need a long story.
Another text message could be, "Thanks for thinking of me. I'm not available this weekend, but I appreciate the invitation."
I like that phrase. Thanks for thinking of me. It sounds kind before you say no.
And here is another important point. You can say no without using the word no.
That is useful. For example, I can't make it. That means no, but it sounds softer.
Or, that doesn't work for me. Again, it means no, but it is not too direct.
Sometimes learners think polite English means using many words, but often polite English means using the right few words.
Exactly. Short and kind is usually better than long and confusing.
Let's compare two answers. First, no, I don't want to. That can sound very direct.
Second, "Thanks for asking, but I can't make it this time." That sounds much softer.
Same meaning, different feeling.
And in real communication, feeling matters a lot.
Let's talk about saying no when someone asks for a favor.
A useful phrase is, "I'm sorry, but I can't help with that right now."
That is polite and clear. You are not attacking the person, you are just explaining your limit.
Another softer phrase is, "I wish I could help, but I can't this time."
I like that one. It sounds kind, especially with friends or family.
Yes, it shows that you care, even though your answer is no.
Now, sometimes we need a stronger no. Polite does not always mean soft.
Good point. Sometimes you need to be clear because the other person keeps asking.
In that case, you can say, I understand, but my answer is still no.
That is firm but not rude.
Another firm phrase is, I'm not comfortable with that.
This is useful when something feels wrong, too personal, or too much for you.
For example, I'm not comfortable sharing that information.
Or, "I'm not comfortable making that decision today."
These phrases are important because polite English is not only about being nice, it is also about having boundaries.
Exactly. Boundaries are limits, and healthy communication needs limits.
Let's do a quick practice section for listeners.
Situation 1. A friend invites you to dinner tonight, but you are tired.
You can say, I'd love to, but I can't tonight. I'm really tired.
Situation 2. A coworker asks you to do extra work, but you are already busy.
You can say, I'm afraid I can't take that on right now.
Situation 3. Someone suggests a meeting time that is not good for you.
You can say, that doesn't work for me, unfortunately. Would tomorrow work instead?
Situation 4. Someone asks for something too personal.
You can say, I'm not comfortable sharing that.
These phrases are short, but they are powerful.
And remember, you do not need to apologize 10 times when you say no.
One polite sentence is often enough.
Let's recap the most useful phrases from today.
"I'd love to, but I can't."
I don't think I can make it.
"I'm afraid I can't take that on right now."
That doesn't work for me, unfortunately.
"I wish I could help, but I can't this time."
I understand, but my answer is still no.
"I'm not comfortable with that."
Today's main idea is simple. Saying no can be polite, kind, and clear.
You do not have to say yes to everything to be a nice person.
That is it for today's Daily English for Difficult Moments. If this helped you, like the video and subscribe for more natural English practice.
Thanks for listening. Practice one phrase today, and we will see you in the next episode.